Good morning, everyone. Today, and as Vishal mentioned, we are going to have a really exciting event. I'm going to be sharing my screen. The idea is try to be focused more on the practical thing and not too much theory, but there are some pieces that I have to present as with the theoretical part. So let me just swap this. Okay, probably I can put this here. Okay. Okay, so today we are going to have the retail industry and how to use marketing and customer service as a strategic advantage in for our business. The idea is that I'm going to be presenting a couple of scenarios that the idea is try to show you how you could use the CRM and how you could use the marketing strategy to get advantage of your business. The agenda that we are going to be reviewing today basically is I'm just going to be doing an introduction. It's not going to be too much. It's just to let you know what's the purpose of the event. After that, we are going to be focused on three main topics. The first one is going to be the customer service, and we are going to be covering there how to receive a case, how to support and how to manage the support cases, how to solve the cases. But more than try to talk about all of these specific topics, we want to present you some scenarios. We have like 4 or 5 scenarios that we are going to be covering in the CRM, how to receive a call, how to transfer that call to a case, how to receive a case from the self service portal, how to receive a case from an email. So it's going to be more practical. The idea that we have on that point is try to show you what are the alternatives, and with that information, probably you could identify or you could realize that could be something that could apply to your business. At the end, the idea is that we are going to be reviewing some elements with marketing, how to send an SMS message, how to create an email campaign, and finally, a couple of integrations that I want to highlight because I think that are really important. The integration with RingCentral to make phone calls directly from the CRM. And additionally, the integration with DocuSign because probably you are sending so many different documents from your system. And it's a really good idea to try to have something like DocuSign to sign documents digitally. Okay, let's start with this. The introduction that the idea is that it's going to be a small one. Basically, using a CRM in retail help business get a better understanding of their customers and provide actionable data in real time. That's a phrase that I just read it because I think that is totally in place with this presentation. If you have the information, if you know your customer, it's probably that you take actions quicker than if you don't have the information. Basically, most of the companies has delays or has some issues taking some decisions on real time because they don't have the information. And if you have a CRM and if you have all your information related with the customer, all your information related with your product, it's going to be easy to try. Probably it's not going to be easy to take the decision, but you are going to have all the elements that you require to take that decision. So the idea with the CRM is try to get all information in one place, and after that, provide elements to take to support your decisions. In a global, the CRM, of course, allows you to have a global context of your customer in terms of sales, in terms of customer service, in terms of marketing. Sorry, the idea is put everything in one place. I don't want to say one system because probably you could have multiple systems, but after a while, the idea is try to consolidate some pieces in just one place to try to do those analyses and allows the CRM provides you additional information based on the information that you already have. Okay, so with that introduction, and I think that everybody is in the same place now, I want to pass directly to the cases, and I want to do that because we have 4 cases that probably are going to take some time, and I don't want to lose any case, any scenario. So basically, we're going to be covering four cases or four scenarios. The first one is going to be a person that just call and a customer contact us to request information about the stores and opening hours. I know that probably is going to be easier just go directly to the internet and try to see the information directly online, but there is still people that just call. So let's say that someone called your contact center and wants information about the stores and opening hours or something like that. So we are going to be doing one scenario that is going to be presenting how to receive a call, how to convert that information, how to convert that call to a case, and after that, how to resolve a case. That's one scenario. The next scenario, that the second one, is going to be an email. A customer sent us an email requesting uh, update information. I mean, he identifies that there are some information that we had and that is not correct, and he wants to probably change her phone number or her name or his name or whatever. And he just sent an email asking for that update. So I want to present you how to receive an email and how to use that email as a case. Okay. And on that scenario, we are going to be doing the changes to the people. And after that, we are going to be sending an SMS with the new or with the notification for the people. Okay. So I'm going to be presenting the SMS messages there as well. The third one is going to be in the portal, in the self-service portal. A customer wants to be registering in the loyalty program. There are so many stores that probably has their loyalty program, and in this scenario, someone wants to be part of this loyalty program. So he enters to the portal, try to validate how to do it, and after that, he wants to be part of that loyalty program. So I'm going to be presenting them how we could enable a self-service portal and start receiving cases directly from the portal. And the final one, that is going to be on site, is someone that wants to register a complaint because there are some problems with the locations. I mean, someone falls and wants to put a complaint, and we are going to be doing a couple of situations there. Probably we are going to be generating a document just to define that we are not going to be responsible in the future or something like that. So probably we need to define or generate a document there. And that document, we are going to be sending that document through using DocuSign just to get the sign of the customer at the end. Okay. Probably and depends of how everything flows. I'm going to be presenting you how to receive cases in a chat directly in your portal, in your website. We could include that chat. I'm going to be presenting you as well, and probably I'm going to be presenting as well how to receive a case using WhatsApp. Okay, so that's a couple of things that I want to add at the end because I think that's something that we could include as well. Okay. So let's pass to the first scenario. So the first scenario is someone that is calling you and he wants to get information about the stores and opening hours or something like that. So the first thing that we are going to be doing is identify the people, identify the person. And that's not the system. That's not Microsoft Dynamics. That's not Salesforce. That's just the CRM culture, the CRM concept. Every time that you get contact from a customer, you need to identify the person because and as soon as you can. I mean, if you receive a phone call, you need to identify the person. Let's say that is going to be this person is going to be Tom White, and this person is calling you. And as soon as you identify the person, you need to enter to the CRM, see the name, the last name, probably see the country, probably see if the person has some opportunities in progress, probably see if that person has some cases in progress. So the idea there is try to know a little bit more about the person, because if you don't know about the person, it's going to be difficult try to connect to that with that person. So the first thing is that you need to identify the person, and then in this case, in this scenario, we are going to be registering a phone call. So I just enter here to the person and I just create a phone call. The idea is that I'm going to be doing, let's say that the person, the customer wants to update, oh no, sorry. He wants stores and opening hours, something like that, just to let us know what is the call, stores. Sorry about that. Opening. Okay. So I'm not going to say that it's an incoming call because he's calling me. Probably I could validate his phone number just to let us know if if the phone number that we have is the correct one. And here in the description, you could just define what is he telling you. And you could say here that you received the phone call just today, and you could even specify the time that you received the phone call. Okay. So I'm just saving the phone call, and the idea is that the phone call is going to be registered here. And after that, on the description, you could start just mentioning what is he telling you. Okay, I'm not going to be just, he said, and after that, you could explain here what happened. But the important thing here is that as soon as you, uh, okay, as soon as you have the phone call here, you could click here and convert to a case. Okay. When you convert to a case, what you are doing is a phone call that, I mean, something that start as a phone call, you are going to pass that to a case because it's something that requires your attention. If it's something that probably you could solve in a phone call, there are some companies that decide, okay, don't create a case because it's pretty easy, just answering in the phone call and that's it. In my opinion, or my suggestion is always create a case. And the reason why is that you need to have that that track that something happened, that track that something was related with the customer, and next time that probably he calls you, you're going to have the record that you create a case. Okay, so my suggestion is always create a case. Okay, in this opportunity, I mean, we identified that we already create a case. Uh, the idea is try to classify the case. For example, here we have a category. Let's say that is, actually, I have that information in the presentation, is general information request and stores. So let's say that is going to be general information request, and he's asking about stores hours. It's something that we could configure, but the idea is that every time that you create a case, you need to classify the case. That's a good idea just to let you do some analysis later. Okay, so let's say that, well, in the scenario, actually say, we receive the call, we convert the call to a case, and after that, I want to try to see if there is something already created in our knowledge base. What is that? So the first thing is create a case. I'm gonna save it, and something is going to happen here, and I want to show you that. It's something that we customize, but it's pretty cool. So with this information, with the category and with the subcategory, we identify, or we let the CRM knows what should happen, the time that he should provide for this case, who is the person that is going to be attending the case, and what's the priority that we are going to be assigning to the case. That's something that the CRM identifies based on this information. Additionally, I identify that the person is asking about opening hours or something like that, and we identify here in our knowledge base that there is an article that mentioned that. So I'm gonna link this article to the case just to let the system know that this article could be helpful for me. And I'm gonna click here just to see the information that we have in the case. Okay, and here I'm gonna see the knowledge base article with the information that I require. So I think that is something that could be cool for the customer have it. So what I'm gonna be doing here is that I'm going to be sending that information directly to the customer. So I already have the customer in the phone call, so I'm gonna tell him that, okay, I'm gonna create a case and I'm gonna be sending you the completed information directly to your email. Of course, if he asks me the information directly in the phone call, I can provide that. But additionally, I'm gonna say him that, okay, I'm gonna be sending you the information directly to your email, just to let you know the information. I mean, just to allow you to have that information in the future. So you could provide here additional information, and after that, just send the information to the customer. Okay, I'm gonna be sending here that, and I'm gonna send that. Okay, and as soon as I receive the email, I'm going to be showing you that, but the idea is that the information is going to be there. Okay. Additionally, and something that we configure as well is that every time that you create a case, the system is going to be sending you an email like this, telling you, okay, hi, Tom. Okay, with this, because we create the person with this just to identify the purple. But you are going to have the customer, the case title, the number, and the information that you provide to the case. And it's going to telling you that, okay, the case is in progress, something like that. The idea is that the customer should receive this kind of cases, this kind of emails, just to let them know that something is happening in the system. Okay. So the first scenario that I wanted to show you and that I already showed you was someone that called that require information and that you use your knowledge base to retrieve that information, to provide additional and complete information, and just close the case. Okay, probably some of you are asking, okay, but if I already know the information, why just say the information? Okay, that's something that you could do as well. But the idea of the knowledge articles is try to standardize the information. Try to standardize the ways that you provide the information. I know that everybody could provide information, but probably there are some people that is going to say, okay, we just open at 9 a.m., something like that. And there are some others that are going to say, I'm open to 9 a.m., but I'm close to these hours. Okay, the information could be different. I mean, could be the same information, but depends of the people, could be different the way that they transmit the information. So the idea here is try to standardize the information. So that's why our suggestion is try to create knowledge-based articles just to allow the people use the information in the same way. Okay. Okay, after that, we just need to close the case but the close procedure is just came here and just resolve the case. Okay, that's something is going to be simple. Okay, the next scenario that I want to show you is going to be someone that wants to update his information and he wants to create an email. He wants to request that through an email. Okay. And the idea is that with this information, we are going to be identifying that there is something that is pending. And as soon as he receives the information, okay, let's do the scenario. That sounds good. Okay, the first thing is that I'm going to be here in the cases. Actually, I'm going to be deleting this just to allow me to see the information more easily and allow you to see the information more easily as well. Okay, I just got the email with the times with the opening hours. So I just received the emails and it's something totally standardized. Okay, so what we are going to be doing here is that I'm going to be creating a case from the customer using an email. So let me enter here to the email. And I'm going to be just sending an email to the support account that in this case is going to be this one. And let's say that I want to please update my information, something like this. And I'm going to say, hi, please update my information. My correct name is Tom White. Let's say that I'm going to be sending something like that, just for purpose of the exercise, okay? Yeah, and I'm going to be explaining why I'm doing that. So I send an email to that account, and the idea is that the CRM is just getting the information from that email and is going to identify that that email represents a case and should create a case here. Probably it's going to take a couple of seconds or probably some minutes, but the idea is that with that email, the CRM should create a case. Okay, I hope to do that. Let's wait a moment. And the idea is that as soon as we receive the case, we're going to be doing the exercise of complete information in the case, and after that define what's the next step for the case, and then just manage the case. Okay, but well, apparently it's taking too much. Okay, the case is here. Okay, fine now. So if you enter here, you will see that you will see a couple of things. The first thing is that with the subject and the content of the email, the CRM is not going to be able to identify what exactly the people is requesting. So the category and subcategory are going to be email case because the CRM doesn't know. So let's delete this and let's use the categories that I have here. Support, okay. So I just have one that is customer service. And again, the first thing is classify the case. Classify the case. Personal data update. And the reason is basically because if you don't classify the case, you cannot analyze the information later. Okay. So the first thing is that I'm going to be classifying the case. And for example, here, something interesting happened. The time that the CRM assigned is going to be different because this combination has a different configuration. And he identifies that the estimated time is going to be 4 hours. Okay. So that's why he assigned this time. The next thing that is going to happen is that we configure in the CRM that all the cases related with this kind of situation are going to be attended for a specific group of people. That's why the owner is client information and data treatment, because it's a specific team and a specific group of people that is going to be attending these cases. So the CRM is going to transfer that directly to the people, okay? Okay, let's say that the person received the case, the customer service agent received the case, and how he knows what exactly the people is the person is asking for. So he needs to enter to activities. He's going to see here email that the person sent. Okay, he said that his real name is Tom White. Okay, let's update that. So if you go directly to the person, you will notice that the person already, the name already is Tom White. So why he is asking that? So let's say that there's something that is not working as we expected. So let's pass this to waiting for details. So waiting for details is going to enable you an additional section here. So, okay, so I'm going to say here, hi, we identify that your name is already Tom White. Okay, so how can we help you? Can we help you? Something like that. This action is try to get that connection to the person and try to get additional information. Of course, for me, that's not the first movement. The idea is try to contact the person as soon as you can. So if you can call him, if you could retrieve the information, it's going to be better because you are going to get contact with the person. You are going to be allowing him to think or allowing him to feel that you are just with him, that you want to resolve his situation. So the first movement for me should be a phone call. Try to get the information as soon as possible. But let's say that you try to contact him and he doesn't answer. So the next step is just right here that we don't understand what is he asking and just put the case in waiting for detail. When you do that, the system is going to be sending an email requesting him for the information. And let's say that he answered the email telling you the real name. And let's say that is going to be Tom White without Y. So let's say that we already received the information and that we are going to be updating the information. So how can I update information? I could come here directly. I could just update the name. And let's say that I want to notify him as soon as possible. Let's say that when we received the email, he told me, okay, please, as soon as you update information, please let me know as soon as possible. So I could be sent a message to him. And it's something that you could do it just if he allows you, okay? So the email messages is something that you could, the SMS messages is something that you could do. And the way that you could do it, and I'm just trying to see my phone, just to let you see the SMS, just I'm sorry for that. So let's say that I'm going to be sending an SMS. So I'm going to be clicking here. I click on SMS. The SMS functionality is something that is not out of the box of the CRM. We just customize, but it's something that adds value. So update, updates, notification, something like that, just to let you know. And you could click here, then the phone number of the people. Okay, so hi, Mr. Tom, Mr. White, actually. We are ready, update your name. For great day, something like that, as you need. Okay, so you could click here, and as soon as you save it, okay, so what you're doing here is that you're sending directly an SMS to that person. It's something that is going to be, actually, I have my mobile phone here, and I want to show you the SMS. So if you click here, just see here that you're ready to receive the SMS, and it's an SMS that you already sent it from the CRM, and it's going to be showing you it's going to allow you to see the interaction. So you got the SMS here, and it's something that you saw directly in your mobile, or the people saw directly in your mobile. Okay, that's the second scenario. Okay, the third one is going to be a person that entered to the portal and want to be part of the loyalty program. Okay, so how you could do that? Okay, contact, decline by phone. Okay, so the case mentioned here that the person is going to enter to the portal. That action is going to create a case. After that, you're going to identify that there is an article that you could provide to the customer with the information. And additionally, we want to call the people. We want to call the person, sorry. We want to call the person to let him know that we already sent that information. As I mentioned before, it's not just, you try to avoid that, I don't know how to say, probably like the computer interaction. You try to make the people feel that they have like a personal interaction, that someone that is taking care of you, something like that should be more like human, not to like computers. Okay. So in this case, the person is going to be entering to the portal. Let's enter to the portal. Okay, let's go back to the cases. I just want to delete this just to be focused on the case that we are working at the moment. You could leave it there, but I want to be just watching the case that I'm just working on. So the person should enter to the portal. So the company is going to have a portal like this. This one is not too complex, and basically it's a simple one, a basic one. But you could customize your image. You could customize your colors. The look and feel. You could customize your look and feel, and you are going to provide, or you are going to give to all your customers a user and password. They could request that, and you could just send them the user and password. So they could enter here. They could click on sign in. Let's say that I'm going to be just signing here. My password should be this one, I guess. Okay, so I just entered to the portal, and I just enter as Tom White. Okay, so my next move is going to be clicking here, my support, and I can see here the cases that I have in progress. At the moment, I don't have any case, but I want to create a new one. I want to create a case because I want to be part of the loyalty program, and I don't know how to proceed. So I'm gonna click on open new case. And she'll be entering directly. So they can, okay, wait. Well, so the time logic program, something that like this is going to be my title. Actually, he's telling here, okay, there is a knowledge base article that probably is the thing that you need. But let's say that I don't see that information. Let's say that I just skip it, and I just want to define here my category. Let's say that is going to be the loyalty program. Okay, the idea here is configure categories, familiar categories for the customer, not familiar categories for your employees. It's going to be, or should be, categories that the person with the customer with the category identifies what exactly is. So loyalty program is something that I understand. Application to register. Okay. So I'm gonna click there, and I'm gonna say here, hi, I am really interested, and I'm gonna say here that I'm really interested with the loyalty program and some other things. But the idea is that you could describe here your situation. I mean, this scenario is just the loyalty program, but could be a complaint, could be wherever that the person identifies that requires attention. So he's going to create a case directly from the portal, from the self-service portal. So he needs to click on submit. He could attach files and send screenshot or send pictures or whatever. And the good thing here is that he's going to know exactly the number of the case. So he's going to receive the case number immediately. That's one thing that is important. And additionally, that case is going to be created in the CRM immediately. Okay. So as you can see here, loyalty program. If I enter here, the case is already classified. And with this classification, we already configured that this type of cases should be with the loyalty program team. So I'm just doing the things faster because I am allowing the customers have a mechanism, like a channel to create their cases. And additionally, as soon as they create the cases, I could receive the case and I could transfer the case directly to the group of people that should attend the case. So I'm doing the thing just automatic. Okay. Okay. Let's say that I received this case and identify that there is a knowledge article with that information. So I could see here the knowledge article with the information. Okay. Okay. Let's do that. That's the information that the person is requiring. So what I'm going to be doing here is that I'm going to be sending an email. Okay, I could click here and send the email in the same way that I did previously. But additionally, I want to call him. I want to call him to let him know that we already sent the information. As I mentioned before, it's really important the interaction. So I get the information from the knowledge article, but I want to contact him and I want to let him know that I already sent that information. So what I'm going to be doing here is that I'm going to be doing that call directly from the CRM. So how to do it? So you could click here to the customer directly. And let's say that you send the information in the morning or you just send the information and you want to call him to let him know that we send the information and he requires additional information, please let us know. Okay. So you could click here. This is a RingCentral integration that we have here. That basically, actually, if you don't want, you don't need to open this one. Something that I have to open this. But the idea is that you should be able to call the person directly from the CRM. So the only thing that you require is have the number here, the number of the person, and have the number with the code of the country. For example, in this case, this is from Colombia, so that's the country code and the mobile phone, for example. So you just need to click here, and he's going to be doing the call. Okay. So and you could okay, so you are going to have the possibility to do the phone call there. You could identify if there's more than one people with that phone number. In this case, we have multiple people with that phone number. Additionally, you could have here the history of the phone calls that you did. If you want to create some notes, if you want to transfer that I mean, you could configure additional things here. You could have voice mailbox. What's the name? Yeah, voicemail. Voice. Yeah. And you could have, actually, you could send text MS as well if you have your account on RingCentral with that categories, with those configuration. And there are some other configuration that you could have here. For example, as soon as you create a phone call, and if the person answered the phone call, the CRM is going to create a record here, like the phone call, outgoing phone call, is going to send at the end of the phone call, is going to send an automatic message, an email to the person with the link with the record of the call. Okay, so all of these are characteristics of the RingCentral configuration. But the main thing that I want to show you is that you could have integrated here all the possible channels of interaction with the people. I mean, I don't want to say all because always you're going to have another one that probably we cannot cover, but at least you're going to have here appointments, emails, phone calls, tasks, SMS. Additionally, you're going to have phone calls, and there are probably two additional ones that I want to show you, trying to get advantage of this case. Two additional ones are probably the chat and the WhatsApp one. Okay, let's move just for a moment, do a parenthesis and try to show you those channels. But basically, on this scenario, the idea was receive something from the portal, validate information, identify a knowledge article, and do the phone call. Okay, I didn't do the phone call until the end because I cannot call me myself. But the idea is that I show you how to do the phone call. Okay. Before pass to this one, to the last one, I want to show you the chat one and the WhatsApp integration, just to let you know how does it work. Basically, you could have here, I mean, this is an additional model that the name is omnichannel. But let's say that you have your website. Let's say that is this one. It's just an example, but let's say that is this is your website. This is your website, and you are going to include here a button that is going to be let's chat. Okay, so if I click here, and if I click, for example, if I write hi, are you there? That's a simple one. So if the person that is in the CRM side is going to be receiving this one, okay, is going to be receiving a message here with the waiting time of the person, and you could click on accept. As soon as you click on accept, you are going to start a conversation with that person. So you could include directly in your website a chat element that is going to be connected to the CRM. Yes, sir. We are here. Okay, so you could start chatting with the person, and you are going to hear, you are going to see here the interaction. Okay, something pretty cool is that with this conversation, you could identify that is someone that you already know. Let's say that is going to be Tom. So as soon as you identify that is Tom, you're going to be able to see the cases that you are attending with Tom, probably the profiles if you do some phone calls. I mean, you could see the profile of person. And additionally, if he wants to create a new case, you could do it directly from here. Okay, so that's another channel that you have available to interact with the people. And the next one that I want to show you, because it's pretty cool as well, is going to be the WhatsApp integration. Okay, the WhatsApp integration, and let me open my mobile, sorry. Probably I have my phone is yet get disconnected, but let me connect that again. Just to let you see the screen, because if not, it's not too cool. Okay, so I'm going to have here, and I'm already in my WhatsApp, and I already have my WhatsApp here. And I already have my WhatsApp here. So let's say that I'm going to chat, hi, are you there again? Um, okay. So I'm just chatting directly from my WhatsApp, and the person that is back in the CRM should receive that interaction. Okay. Should be something similar to the one that we received from the chat. This one probably is going to take more time, but something pretty cool is that it's going to tell you what sub request from, and it's going to tell you the name of the person because he already identifies my phone number. And if I click here, the conversation is going to be already attached to the Tom because he identifies my phone number. And he already identifies the person here, and he already, I mean, you are going to start a conversation with the person directly with WhatsApp, okay? And all the tests, all the information, and all the conversation is going to be a record. And after that, you could see that conversation directly in the profile of the customer. Okay, there is a lot of functionalities here, like transfer to a supervisor, like quick replies, like there's a lot of information here. That is a lot of functionalities here, but it's more like omni-channel functionalities. That's not the focus today, but I want to show you that there is another channels available to interact with the person, to interact with the customers. Okay. Okay, let's pass to the final scenario, and after that, just continue with the presentation. So the last scenario is going to be a person that unfortunately falls in the store, and the person wants to create a complaint, just relating problems with the location, and he wants to just create a complaint. Okay, so the first thing is that we are going to be creating the case, of course. Um, we needs to validate that the client is well, that if he requires any help, we need to provide the attention, of course. And after that, we are going to be doing a couple of things. The first thing is that I'm going to be creating a task that is going to be related to someone else to do the investigation, the respective investigation. Additionally, I'm going to create a follow-up call to contact the client probably 2 days later, uh, just to see how everything is going, if he's well, something like that. And after that, we need to probably, if we just do an agreement with the customer or we just resolve the situation anyway, probably we need to create a document, or we are going to create a document with future claims. I mean, a document where the client is going to um, uh, resign to any additional situations in the future, any future complaint or something like that. Okay. And we are going to be sending that document using DocuSign. Okay, that's the case, the scenario that I want to show you here. Okay, let's continue with Tom. That is the person that wants to create a complaint. I'm going to be creating here the case. I'm gonna click here on new case because he's on site. So I'm going to be creating the case directly in the CRM. Let's say that is going to be complaint. Sorry. I'm going to be doing here in the category, there is one like complaints and problem with locations. And let's say that, and I could describe here what exactly happened. And after that, I'm going to save the case. Okay, so I need to create a case. And after that, I'm going to be doing a couple of things. Okay, the first thing is that I want to create a task just to activate the investigation. So I'm going to be clicking here in a task. And let's say that the person that is going to be doing this activity is going to be Carolina. And let's say that please validate the videos. I want to review the videos and try to see what exactly happened. For example, collect case information, and here I could describe, okay, please review the videos and try to validate what exactly happened, something like that. So I'm going to assign this specific activity, this specific task to one of my colleagues. And after that, okay, so the system is going to create a task, is going to notify the person that they received a task, and is going to relay the task to the case. Okay, so everything is happening here. And I already created the task and it's going to be open as soon as Carolina just complete the activity. Okay. Additionally, I want to schedule a phone call. So I'm gonna call here in phone call and please validate how the customer is going. I don't know, just to validate how everything is going with the customer. And is it going to be an outgoing call because I'm going to call him. And let's call him probably on Friday afternoon, just to see if he is okay and something like that. Okay. And I could define who's going to be doing the phone call. In this case, I'm going to be doing the phone call. So you could just define here what you expect happens later with the case. Okay, so you are going to be scheduling that here, and after that, okay, you talk with the customer and you finally resolve the situation. I don't know why, I don't know how you resolve the situation, but you resolve the situation. So let's say that you want to generate a document just to be sure that the customer is not going to be complaining later about the same issue. So you could come here directly to your CRM, and let's say, because I configure it, let's say that you have here in the work documents, you're going to have a future liability waiver form. Okay, that's a document that you could generate from the CRM. Why I am presenting this? Because I configure a document that you are going to be generating from the CRM that is going to be filled out with all information that you require. So the document is going to have here the name of the person, it's going to put here the date, okay? It's going to put here the case number that you are just defining that is going to be closed and that you are not going to be complaining anymore about that. So the idea is just generate this document and you are going to request for his signature, okay? So what I'm going to do in here is that I generate the document. If you need to modify or something, you could do it. But I'm not going to be modifying anything. And I'm going to be sending this document in a PDF. Let's say that I generate my PDF. Let's put here for a moment. Okay, I already have my PDF document here. So the next movement here is that I'm going to upload the document here. So in the case, I click in here, and let's say that is, what's the name of the document? Sorry, is going to be, let's say that is this one. So I'm going to uh, upload the document here in the CRM. Yep. Just to be sure that so I'm telling here, okay, I'm going to be sending this document to this person. So I need to upload the document here. So the next thing is that I need to send that using DocuSign. Okay. So I'm going to be clicking here, send with DocuSign. You could sign as well from your side, but I don't mind about my sign for a moment. I'm going to be requesting for the sign of the customer. So I'm going to be clicking here. Okay. The system is going to show me the documents that I could send. I could select if I have multiple ones, I could do it. If not, I could just send this one, open with DocuSign. Let's say that I'm going to be sending this with DocuSign. The integration is going to create a DocuSign envelope because DocuSign works based on envelopes. And after that, it's going to pass me to DocuSign. It's going to show me the documents that I'm going to be sending, sorry. And after that, let's say that I'm going to be sending to this email. Okay, let's say that is this person, just because I use it for other things. And you could define here the email subject and the message that you want to say. Please sign this document to conclude the case, something like that. I don't know. And you could just click, if you require multiple people signing, you could do it. You could actually, you could configure multiple people, define order, you could define a secret number to sign. I mean, there's a lot of things that you could configure here, but I want to show you the main functionality. And after that, you could click on next. You will see here the document, and you could define where do you want the sign. Okay, so let's say that you want to the person sign here, something like that. And my suggestion is always includes a they sign it, because just to leave it there when the person sign the document. Okay, so you could just click on send. Okay, and after that, that's it. The person received the document. Let me show you. Let's wait the email. That's the first thing that should be just arriving. Okay, I already get it. Okay, this is the email that I just received. Telling me, okay, please sign the document. So let's enter here, review the document. And here you will see the document that you received. The date is going to be automatic. So it's something that the system is going to define automatic. And as soon as the person click here, the document is going to be signed. If the person if it's the first time that the person is signing a document with DocuSign, the system is going to request him to create a sign and some other things. But if the person already used DocuSign in the past, so he just need to click here, and the system is going to include the sign automatic. And after that, I just need to click on finish. Okay. So no thanks. And after that, you could just close this. You could just close this. And after that, then you go back. There are two things that should happen. The first thing is that the person should receive an email like this one, telling him that he completes the document. and attaching him the document that is already signed, like his support. And additionally, in the CRM side, if you just start refreshing here, you're going to have here the signed document directly in CRM. I mean, you don't need to upload or something like that. As soon as the person signed the document, you are going to receive here the document signed. So that's something really useful because I mean, you could interact with your customer in terms of sign. For example, for opportunities, for quotes, for this kind of documents, you could request additional signs, and it's pretty good. Okay, let me see, client agreement document, and after that, you just need to close the case. Okay, so basically, those are the scenarios that I wanted to show you today. Additionally, we have additional information here, like for example, in the marketing side, the SMS messages is something pretty good that you could use it. I already show you how to send an SMS. That's something that you could do it massively. I don't suggest that too much because sometimes it's kind of bother people. But if you use it in a really good way, something that could be really useful, like sending important information or sending notifications that add value. That's something really good. Another one is going to be the email campaigns. That's something that I haven't shown you yet, but I'm going to be doing now. CRM allows you to create email campaigns. So what is an email campaign? Like, for example, let's say that I have a couple of people here from Chile. Let's say that Tom White, and let's say that Luis, it's from Chile. So you could come here to marketing, and let's create a marketing list. Okay, probably, well, okay, I don't have one here. So I'm going to be creating a marketing list just right now. So you could click here on new. Let's say that contacts from Chile, something like that. Okay. And let's say that is going to be dynamic and it's going to be contacts. So what I'm doing here is create a marketing list. I define that is dynamic because, okay, the marketing list has two types of list, basically static. If you define a static, you should define what are the specific records or what are the specific contacts that you want to include in the list. But if you define it as dynamic, you could define a condition that the system is going to validate to identify the people that should be included in the list. So in this case, I defined it that is dynamic, and I defined that is related to context. So I'm going to click in here to manage members, just to define the condition that I want to use. Let's say that I want to use, for example, the country, because it's contacts from Chile. So I'm going to be clicking here on country. Okay, and let's say that I define that is going to be the people from Chile. Okay, fine. The CRM is going to show me the contacts that match with that condition. And after that, I just need to use the query. Okay, so you could define the query in terms of the fields that you use. So for example, you could define by the country, by the area, male or female, or people with opportunities. I mean, any combination that you wanted. As soon as you could get the information using an advanced search, I mean, using a query that the system identifies, you could group the people as soon as you want. Okay, I mean, as you want. Okay, so I just create this one, and as you can see here in members, there's two people. And later, if you want to send an email to those people, you just need to click here on quick campaigns. You could click here. And let's say that I'm going to be sending them like something like news or something, or an email campaign that you wanted. Let's say that, well, like, welcome to New Year, something like that, where, and you can click on next. And let's say that you could define here the type of activity campaign that you want to do. So for example, an email. So let's say that the email is going to be not from me. The email should be from something like a specific account like marketing or something like that. Let's say that is going to be from this email. And after that, I just click on next. If you have configured in your CRM an email template, that will be my suggestion. Try to send the emails looks similar. Okay, try to create your own image in terms of the interaction with the customer. So let's define a template, and after that, just complete the information that you require. You could define here when do you want to send the email. Let's say that is going to be immediately, and let's say that you go, okay, welcome to a new year. And here you could define the email that you want to use. You could just define an HTML, or you could define here your email, hi, how are you, or whatever, okay? So you could define here the email that you want to send. You could include images, you could include tables, you could include whatever. And after that, you just need to click on next, and you just need to create. So what we just done here is that we create a quick campaign activity. If you refresh here, sometimes takes a moment, but the idea is that you will see here the number of people, the number of members that you have here, and after that, the system is going to show you the okay. For example, in this case, so I have 2 members, and I already sent them the campaign, the email that I just configured. So if you enter to your if I enter to my email, I already received the email with the information, and the email was sent by Optimus Demo CRM. Okay, so the campaigns, the email campaigns, are really powerful functionality. Something that you have to keep in mind is that something that is going to be in just one direction, and probably you want to do something more interactive. If you want to do something more sophisticated or more interactive, probably you need to see Microsoft 365 Marketing. That is a whole model con a lot of functionalities that allows you to interact and take decisions on some other things. But from the basis, in the CRM side, the email campaign is something that you could use it. The key here is define the marketing list in the best possible way. Just try to define what's the people that you want to include in that list, and after that, just start sending your emails, taking into account a lot of things that you have to keep in mind when you are sending emails, like the size of the images, the amount of tests. Then there is a lot of recommendations that you have to keep in mind when you're sending email campaigns, but it's something that you could do it directly from the CRM, and it's really useful. The integration that I just showed you, I show you the RingCentral integration to do phone calls. Microsoft already released the possibility to do phone calls directly from the CRM using Teams. It's something that is there, but I haven't reviewed it too much. So I just present you the RingCentral integration because it has a lot of functionalities, and it's something that we are using in Optimus for a while. So it's something that is really cool. But probably in a future way, I'm going to be showing you the another integration. And the integration with DocuSign is something that I just showed you as well. It's pretty useful. You have to keep in mind that you need to have a DocuSign account with credit with some other things, but it's something that allows you to have the interaction with the customers in terms of documents, and it's going to add value because probably a customer is not going to feel pretty comfortable if you send a contract, or if you send a PSA, or if you send a quote just with an email. But if you send it with a DocuSign, with signature, with security, it's going to be better in terms of the relation, in terms of the process that you're doing. Okay. Well, that's the content that I want to show you today. I'm going to leave here my email because I really want you to invite. I want to invite you to send me emails in terms of any question or any comment or anything that you want to clarify, or if you want to have a specific session to discuss something, we could review it, and all the suggestions and all the questions that you send me, I'm going to be reviewing, I'm going to be answering as soon as I can. Okay. So thanks a lot for your time. Thanks a lot for being here, and let's see you in a next webinar. Thanks all of you.